you look for, do you look for youth as well?
You can have experienced youth players. It just depends how early they've been exposed to Champions League. But what's clear is they have to have that experience. They have to be ready to take on the weight of this crest. Because I think that's another thing. You know, you are constantly supported and constantly criticised. You are supported from internal, but then outside externally, you know how much everybody wants Manchester United to fail. So, look, what we can do, we can only control the controllables. And that for me is going into the market and being aggressive to get the players. Because I know that there shouldn't be any player in this world that does not want to play for Manchester United. You know, we are the biggest club in the world, but also we've got not only the history, we're creating our own here. We're into Champions League for the first time. If you'd had that points tally last year, I think we've won leagues prior to that with that points tally. I think, you know, we lost 2 games and only to Chelsea do we lose those 2 games. And I'm still fuming that we should have had 2 penalties against Chelsea, which would have then balanced that points total out. So we talk about the Everton game, but in that game, we got told there was 2 penalties that should have been given to us by the officials. So that for me is something that, you know, it sits hard because these are the tiny details. And then we're talking about the tiny details in recruitment. We need to make sure that we as a club continue to be as ambitious as being the best team in the world, because that's how fiercely ambitious I am. You know, I've moved to the business side, the people to do the business, because, you know, my focus is on the football and what we're doing on the football pitch, and that's working. So we need to make sure that we continue to work off the field to get the business that we're needing to make sure we go on a European tour and do something that nobody else has talked about. You know, how many years has Chelsea never won the Champions League? Never won it. Been around for how long? Spent how much money? Never won it. Yeah, so we know how difficult that's going to be as well. We have to, in this modern era, Arsenal have never won it. Manchester City haven't. You know, that's how hard it is. So, you know, that's how you know, ambitious we are as a club, as a team, and we need to make sure we match those in the transfer market.
Well, I spoke to Mary after the Liverpool United game, after obviously winning the game, but the frustration of not winning the league, and that was her kind of answer. She said, we want to win the Champions League. And that's not an unrealistic ambition. That's something that you want every player to go in there with that ambition of. Correct.
And you know what? If you don't aspire to that, what are we here for? We're not here. I'm not a coach that will sit here and go, oh yeah, you know, we want to finish second every year. And just, I'm not interested in that. I never have been. You know, it's first or nothing for us in terms of this season. I can understand, but the seasons beyond, like I take the pressure every day because I want us to aspire to do that. I won't be a coach for a long, long period of time. Like it's not an infinite job. So in the time, I want to make sure that we are competing at the very best of our level. And you know what I love doing? I love doing things that people say we can't do. That's part of my character. It's part of my nature. People tell us we can't go in and win the Champions League. Yeah, okay. Well, then we're going to try the very best of our ability to try and do that. And so with our fan base and with this club and the right direction, if we do that, I have no doubt we can be the very best club in world football, not just in Europe.
You look at the stats now and you can go back, you've got the best of this, the best of so many different things. Is that something that you look at the end of the season, or is that something that drives you and motivates you before and after every single game?
We've used them at times when I feel it's appropriate in pre-match conversations. You know, when we've played top games, you need to again, you know this. If you're going to beat a top team, you've got to believe you can beat a top team. We've got to disrespect them for that 90 minutes. Respect what they've achieved. Respect all of that around football, because that's part of the culture of football. But when you play them on that day, you've got to beat them, and you've got to forget what they can do. And you've got to remember what you can do. And so I've used them at times, but it's hard for me to go, right, let's try and possess the ball for more than anybody else this season. It's a reality of the way the games have played. So, you know, we've come up against teams that have deep blocked. So if you remember last year, teams deep blocked against us. So what did I do? Okay, I'm going to look at Rachel Williams, because if we need to play more direct, I can play a player up front that we can go direct to, and then we'll cause problems, because defenders in this league hate direct play. And you see it every day. You saw the Liverpool game. We play over the ball direct off the wing back, which we knew was going to happen because they switch off, and Luthia gets in. And down the side of centre-half, because the centre-half's facing their own goal now. It's all these little nuances that we designed. It's not by chance. For anyone that thinks we fluked that, you can't fluke that much. But what we did was we looked at, right, if we need to possess it, we need 1v1 characteristics. We need people that can move and space. And I think the other day, people talk about the growth of the Lionesses over the summer and how that's helped the league. But I think that the development of this club helps our players to be better. And anyone that comes to this club, I think, helps them on an international stage because of the way that we coach, the way that we play. So, yeah, we do use those statistics, but I like this part because actually, you know what? It's the only part because we want to win so bad and we didn't quite get there. These are the parts that I'm like, if we keep doing that and add the right talent in, then, our sky's the limit for us.
Should also mention, not on that list, all the Skinner time goals.
Oh, wow. Do you know what? If you want to coin that, I'm happy for that to happen. Because if we're looking at the Fergie, I coined Fergie time because I still think that's amazing. But I love the fact it's a mentality. It's just a mentality. All it is right, we're not going to give up. But what it does allow is, because we've got someone like Rachel come in and make her, and I'll be, not a lot of fans gave her a lot of credit. Why we sign a 35-year-old, blah, 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 blah. If you see that girl, not only would you want to be a friend every day, you'd want to run through a wall with her. She's an unbelievable character. And it was beautiful by the end of the season, that when she'd come on, the fans would go mad for her. And that is because if you can sense anything about somebody, Rachel is somebody that our fans should get right behind. She was a plasterer for probably 4 years ago. She was a plasterer, but yet has the ability that she has to come on and change games for us the way she does. And so, yeah, look, if we can coin that, and I want that to be something, then yeah, look, it's a mentality.
Skinner time goals. We're talking about Skinner time goals.
Have you trademarked that?
I think I might have to.
Yes, please do. But look, we need to do it again next season. I don't want it to be, we're building something here and we need to keep building it. But yeah, it's a mentality and it's a shift. And that's what I talked about in my press conferences at the end of those games. Those teams should be scared of that. And I want them to be scared. I want them to be fearful of Manchester United because we've arrived. And I want them to know that, because then you're already in their mind before you play them. And they then end up respecting us rather than us respecting them as much.
Champions League is on the horizon for next season.
Yeah.
What are the next building blocks heading towards that and challenging for the title once again?
Loads of blocks. We go into a round of the second round, I think, where we can play some extremely experienced teams. What a challenge. So it's a challenge. So it's something we're looking forward to. Hopefully we get a favourable draw. If not, then, we're going to give it absolutely everything, because I'd love our fans away on tour, on a European tour would be wonderful. We've got to be, I have to, by the nature of the competition, should we make Champions League group stage, rotate more? Absolutely. It's something that's thrown at me this year. But again, when you come back to those statistics and how we've performed, I have a lot of answers for those critics. But the reality is there's going to be a lot more game time for players next year. And, pardon me, to navigate some of the tough games where it's a midweek game away and then go into a tough challenge on a weekend, we've got to navigate that. But all things we should be excited about, all things that we would love, relish and disrespect, because we're all not here for a long time, right? So we have to make sure we make our moments matter while we're here. And that's, for me, making history for this club is a really proud individual achievement for us. But actually, we don't want it. We want to be insatiable. We want to be driven. We want to be fully here to embrace everything that's thrown at us. And I think that's going to be our attitude going into the new year.
I think it's really exciting. You can see, from the players, yes, they were devastated that they didn't win and it was that small margin, but the excitement of then the next step, it is transforming, moving forwards at such a quick rate. And the Champions League is such an exciting thing. And you mentioned it there about the fans going on a European tour. I'm sure all of them are so excited about going. But you spoke about kind of the experience of loss, also the experience of winning. It's kind of players coming into a group potentially with experience of success. Does that kind of bring a different dynamic, if you could add that? I think even we designed it that way. So look at Nikita Paris coming in the summer. So we designed it almost that
we didn't have the years of experience together to have all that success that really breeds calmness in the moments that you need it. And so looking forward, we need to celebrate the successes we've had, but also, like, I look at the players' faces in that, and it's just a together energy, right? It just feels like we have this special team spirit that, like, I think can carry you through even the parts where you need a bit more experience. So for me, I want to celebrate the losses and the successes, because I just think it builds a stronger United team. And there's many, there's what I love about our name, obviously United, is its own explanation, right? And when I talk about some of the like rebel red attitude that we've asked our players this year, and because everyone, how hard it is to win this league. And it's usually, it's been like Arsenal haven't won it for how long? Man City haven't won it for how long? They haven't been broken into that top 3. Nobody has for like how many years. But so I think it's those experiences so that we will celebrate going into this. And I'm looking forward to this challenge. We will never run from a challenge. This club is not about that. This club is about facing adversity, staring it in the face, and coming through the other side. And it inspires me every day when I look at our history as a football club and our fans. And you were at the game the other day, and honestly, it's just so remarkable. You've got a wall of Manchester United fans, and it felt like a proper rivalry. We talk about Liverpool and Manchester United in the men's game being a rivalry, and it will build that way in the women's game, but it almost felt like we'd arrived right at that moment. And then right behind the dugout, there's another sea of Manchester United fans. And so I think, again, Liverpool broke their record attendance. I'm guaranteed that's from our fans. So I feel, I say this for the last time, and I'll finish it this season, and I won't use it again. I feel privileged to be the manager for these fans, for everybody involved in this football club. And the reason I'll stop saying that after this is because I just want to be there to win for them, because of what they give us. So it's a special, special moment. And just to finalise on that experience of those winning and with the fans, I think can make a real special force for us.
I feel like you've just wrapped it all up. Don't know if we've got any time left.
I needed to. I can't speak anymore.
All right, I guess then we'll say thank you so much, Mark.
I've really enjoyed it. And look, thank you very much for the questions. And this has felt as friendly as those faces feel together. So, and glory, glory, Man United.
That's the way to finish it.
Glory, glory, Man United.